Hey, what's up? I just spent all this time recording this video and I thought I could fix it in post, and I cannot. I just spent the whole time recording that video with my phone like this, not like this. So there's going to be black bars on the side of the video, and I'm so sorry. Rookie mistake, my first video I've ever done. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. All right, so today we're going to be looking at the AMS2 Pro with the Bambu A1. There was just a software release a few weeks ago that allows you to connect the AMS, AMS2 Pro with your Bambu A1. If you have the model that comes without the AMS Lite, like I do, it will also work that way. There's a software update that you'll need to do that will show up on the screen. So before we get started, let's just kind of go through each thing that we're going to need, and some of these are optional. Some people want their AMS to the side of the printer on racks. I would like mine on top of the things that you're going to need to prepare your printer for the ability to put your AMS2 Pro on top of. So these are all printable, of course. I will drop the links below. So the first thing is you're going to have two legs. These are the legs that go in the back of the printer. If you're using a Bambu, this will be 4 prints. You're going to print each of these is going to be one print, and then each of the top mounts that the AMS will sit on will also be one print. I think these were about 8 to 9 hours each on the settings that I chose, and I think these are about 6 hours each, maybe a little bit less. Next, I have desiccant pouches. Again, totally optional, but I plan to put the desiccant beads inside of the AMS to keep my filament as dry as possible. So you have 5 different sections or so here that go inside, as well as the spot for your hydrometer. If you choose to do that, they do have an option for one without the hydrometer. Next is the beads. I went with this brand. It's what they mentioned on the Makerworld area, so I went with that one. I think it was $15 for this piece. You'll also need some M3x8 or M3x10, whichever you prefer. I'll be using those M3x10s. You'll need 8 of them. I think this whole package was 10 bucks on Amazon. And then of course you've got your AMS2 Pro here. I have not opened it, so we'll see what else comes in the box. You're also going to need a power supply, because in order to heat with the AMS2, use that functionality, you're going to need a power supply. That's just $34. And then you're also going to need the actual kit with the cables and the PTFE tubes. I think this is like 22 bucks or something. So that's everything that you're going to need. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and kind of get some of this out of the way. Let's go ahead and get the legs assembled onto the A1. Okay, now in order to install the feet, what you're going to do is you're going to be very careful in snapping on the bracket that tightens onto the foot. I found it easier to actually put the foot on and then slide the bracket over the top of it like so. It's a little bit finicky, so just be careful that you don't break that piece off. I installed mine incorrectly the first time and I thought I was going to break it. On the left side, you'll actually see an L located on the bottom of the foot, just to point out which side goes where. Same thing, you'll need to pay attention that you get the flat side on the inside of the printer when snapping on the bracket. Once you get it snapped into place, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your 4 M3x8 screws. There's 4 per foot, 2 on the inside, followed by 2 on the outside. You'll get those nice and screwed in. Once you get those screwed in accordingly on one side, go ahead and move over to the other side and do the exact same thing. Once they're all nice and tight, you've got your support feet successfully installed. This will help you balance out the weight. Okay, now that you've got your legs installed, you need to remove the spool holder, remove the PTFE tube from the bracket, pull off the piece that holds in the cables, pull the tab, and push the spool holder forward to remove. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get our AMS unboxed and see what we got going on. We've got our power supply. Again, this will be used for the heating portion of the AMS. In order to actually heat your filament, you have to have an external power supply to power it. I do not believe this is needed for any other of the models, just the A1 specifically. So inside the kit, we're going to have the the piece that holds in the PTFE tube. This piece is actually going to help drive the filament into the print head. Because the distance can be much further than typical, it needs a little bit of help. So there's actually a motor inside of this guy that's powered that helps push the filament into where it needs to go. We've also got a couple PTFE tubes here. You'll notice that one is a little bit shorter. One is a little bit shorter than the other one, and that's due to the shorter one's going to be for your mini, and the longer one's going to be for your A1. So we don't need the shorter one at the moment. And then you've also got your 4-pin adapter. With this piece here, if you choose to not go with the option to set it on top, there is a piece that you can print that will go on the side of your axis, and you can slide this guy directly into it. That way, if you again want to set your AMS on the side table, you can print a bracket for this guy to slide into, and it will mount directly on the printer to keep your cables nice and clean. So let's go ahead and get this opened up. Instructions, we don't need these, but you should probably read them. On the back, you've got your long PTFE tube, a couple desiccant pouches, additional PTFE tubes. I believe these are replacements, 4 pouches, and this is your 6-pin. And your 6-pin here goes to the back of the printer. Your 4-pin actually goes to piece here. And then here we have it. Before you get started, the first thing you should do is go ahead and go into your settings. Go down to AMS options. Currently it's set to AMS Lite, even though I don't have one. Make sure you click on the AMS2 Pro or AMS, whichever you have. It's going to switch the profiles. And please note, before you do anything, do not have anything plugged into the printer. Okay, it could end up causing connectivity issues if you have your AMS plugged in before you do anything further. So go ahead and hit that setting. It's going to take a moment. It's going to do the switch, and you'll be all set, ready to start plugging things in. This is finished. It'll say load complete across the screen and be ready to go. At this point, you can back out of your settings. Okay, now we're ready to go ahead and get the brackets put on here to hold the AMS on the top. These will slide into the bottom slots underneath here on the left and the right side, so it'll easily hold them and keep it nice and sturdy and in place. So we want to make sure that you're pointing this towards you so it can sit at the back of the printer. We've got a couple little notches in this space here. That way it can account for this, and then obviously this will hold down right here. So what I like to do is I like to put it on the top, move it all the way as far as you can go, and then just pull it back towards you, nice and easy. And then it'll be nice and flush up against here. And we'll do the same thing with the other side. The whole purpose of these feet is to actually, so when you have that additional weight, it keeps the printer sturdy and it takes some of the weight off of the actual printer on the back, so it doesn't become back heavy, if you will. Now we're ready to go ahead and put the printer on top. Takes a little minute to get it lined up just right. Now you've got your PTFE tube ready, and we can go ahead and get things started plugged in. Okay, so I had a little bit of a fail. You're still going to need a part like this. This is what I mentioned earlier. If you're not going to use these brackets, that will go on the top of this arm. I'm really bad with my 3D print words here, and I don't know what the parts are. I know the main stuff like the print head, that's about it, right? You'll need this guy to go on the top here if you don't plan to use that. If you do plan to use this, there is a bracket I will put in the description below that you'll need to print for a bracket to go onto here to hold this piece in, okay? So in the meantime, until I get mine printed, I'm just going to take some double-sided Velcro strips here and on the side and get that going that way. Now, for the next part, you'll take your PTFE tube from AMS. On the bottom, you're going to have 4 different slots you can choose from, so you can do up to 4 different AMS inputs if you wish. So take your cable and you're going to just pick whichever one you want to and get it plugged in nice and snug. Next, you're going to take your longer PTFE tube that came with your kit. If you're using the A1, if you're using the A1 mini, use the shorter one. You'll get that one plugged in as well. I will use my tape that I have on the side here. It's not gonna be great and it may not even hold, but for all intents and purposes, this is what we're gonna do. Next, you're gonna take your other side and you're gonna take any of the other 4. You're just gonna pick one and you're gonna plug it right in. And as we can see, my tape idea is not really working great, okay? It's fine. Okay, so on the back of the printer, you've got your 4-pin and your 6-pin. Your 4-pin is going to go down to the back of the printer. You've got your 6-pin here that's going to go to the back of the AMS, okay? And then you're just gonna take your power supply that came with your kit that you purchased and you'll plug it into the back of the AMS. And again, this is going to give power to heat it. All right, now you have it. I gotta do a little bit of cleanup and get these wires nice and cleaned up once I get it to its normal home. But there you have it. You've got the AMS2 Pro mounted on top with your brackets, with your support bases here. And now the only thing left to do is to make sure that you put your piece up here to kind of keep your wires clean or however you handle that. And we'll go ahead and get it turned on and we'll get the filament loaded in properly. Now, before moving on to the next step, what you're going to have to do is you'll take the printed desiccant pouches and you will go ahead and begin filling those up with whatever desiccant beads that you so chose. This particular model came with a cup to fill up and I found it to be a little bit messy. So I chose to just pick up the can, fill it up as I needed to, and then it could be used a little bit better with the smaller pieces here at the end. Once you get these filled up, you'll be ready to go ahead and prepare them to insert them into the AMS basket. And again, these will help keep your humidity levels very low. And it's something I highly recommend. You have your desiccant pouches here. The flat side is going to go at the back. Your one with your meter is going to go here at the front. Your next 2 on the sides. Then of course your last ones. Not paying attention. These go on the sides here. So this will go on the left side. And this with the curve will go on the right side. And it's finally time to load your filament into your AMS. Once you get things loaded in, you're ready to start using your printer. And that is the overview of the A1 with an AMS2 Pro. As you can see on the right side, I did actually get that bracket printed. Thank you guys for watching.